Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will talk about the top 10 futuristic technologies that will shape the next decade. 10. Flying taxis and Hyperloop. Mobility will be drastically different and everything won't be high-tech either. As more Gen Z enter the workforce, health and environment-conscious people will prefer to walk more or use bicycles. Public transport is likely to become more comfortable and reliable too. Also, people might use modes of transport that don't exist today, such as on-demand flying taxis. An experiment in the area of flying taxis, with the financial and technological heft needed to succeed, is being orchestrated by ride-sharing service provider Uber Technologies. As part of its Uber Elevate program, it plans to deploy Uber Air, electric aerial vehicles capable of vertical takeoff and landing. The company has decided on Dallas and Los Angeles for its first trials and said last August that the third location would be either in India, Japan, Australia, Brazil, or France. Other surface-based long-haul transport options will include superfast maglev, magnetic levitation, trains, as well as Hyperloop systems. One maglev is operational in Shanghai, China, but runs only 30.5 kilometers between the city's international airport and Longyang Road station on its outskirts. The 286 kilometers 𝐥𝐤𝐤 Shinkansen in Japan is expected to be operational in 2027, cutting travel time between Tokyo and Nagoya by 30 to 40 minutes. At present, it takes 90 minutes. 9. AI and robot companions. The field of artificial intelligence AI is over 60 years old, but is only in recent years, with the advent of massive computational power and storage, that AI is extensively used in business strategies. Advances in related fields such as computer vision and the Internet of Things (IoT) have also helped accelerate the development of AI. Experts feel there is no area that will be left untouched by AI, but the prominent ones that have captured people's imagination are self-driving cars, personalized medicine, new ways of teaching, and the combination of AI and robotics. One crucial study of how our lives will change due to AI is the 100-year study launched in 2014 at Stanford University. In its first report in September 2016, the university says, as cars become better drivers than people, city dwellers will own fewer cars, live further from work, and spend time differently, leading to an entirely new urban organization. In the typical North American city in 2030, physically embodied AI applications will not be limited to cars but are likely to include trucks, flying vehicles, and personal robots. 8. Mobiles, smart and dumb. A decade from now, mobile phones will have features that we see in movies and read in science fiction novels. One feature that is pretty standard in movies from Star Wars to Avengers is the hologram. It is likely that by 2030, holographic displays will be commonplace on smartphones. Another big jump will be the processing power. Today's smartphones are superior to yesterday's desktop-based gaming, for instance, and with advances in graphics chips that companies such as NVIDIA are making, tomorrow's phones will certainly be better than today's gaming consoles. Also, phones will evolve to become an increasingly integrated part of the internet, and IoT future mobile and digital communications infrastructure will be able to recognize mobile phones and their owners uniquely wherever they go, whether they go shopping or take a pod to the nearest Hyperloop station. Another under-the-hood improvement will be battery power. Phones of the future may have batteries powerful enough to last for weeks, if not longer. Users will also be able to charge them in multiple ways, wirelessly at home or work and using sunlight, for instance. 7. Planet Internet. One of the most exciting aspects of the Internet of the future is the way it will be delivered around the globe. Among the more ambitious projects is the one backed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, who intends to put 3,236 satellites in low Earth orbits to beam the Internet around the planet. The project is named Kuiper, after the belt of particles beyond Neptune. Bezos isn't the first to this idea. Kuiper will be competing with Elon Musk's SpaceX, which is working on Starlink, a project to put a 12,000-satellite constellation around Earth to beam broadband down to the planet, as well as an initiative by SoftBank Group Corp-backed startup called OneWeb. OneWeb has already put 6 satellites in space in March. One of the stated missions of OneWeb's founder 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 is to connect rural schools to the internet using the constellation of 650 satellites he eventually plans to put in space. 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐤 has raised $3.4 billion in funding, including $1.25 billion recently. 6. A billion drones. A future with drones in it is probably closer than one imagines. The biggest obstacle in the way of a society that routinely uses these aerial unmanned vehicles is more likely to be regulatory than technological. Governments will have to come up with rules to ensure safety before drones can become commonplace. The potential is already being demonstrated by scores of experiments around the world, from Amazon working on deliveries with drones to a small startup, which one? in Bengaluru working on drones that will make medicine delivery runs in remote, hilly areas of Papua New Guinea. When it comes to drones, we shouldn't limit our thinking to their flying capabilities. Instead, the same drone that can fly may also be able to roll along the ground, jump onto a building, climb a tree, stick to a piece of glass, float on water, or swim in it. American futurist Thomas Free wrote on his website. Free has predicted that as early as 2030, there will be 1 billion drones around the world. He has listed a large number of applications of drones, ranging from monitoring forests to policing our cities. 5. Printing cities and coral reefs. 3D printing is the process of building an object layer by layer using a three-dimensional digital model that is fed into a machine that can accordingly lay out the layers using raw materials such as plastic and metals. Advances in technology, technically called additive manufacturing, have allowed for printing everything from parts that could put together a house to customize food to small parts of coral reefs. As the oceans become warmer due to climate change, the corals eject colored algae and turn white before eventually dying. These bleaching events are seen in coral reefs around the world. 3D printed fake corals may be a new, better way to restore the reefs, the National Geographic said in a report in March 2017. Scientists are 3D printing fake reefs that mimic the texture and architectural structure of natural reefs in ways that haven't been achieved in prior restoration efforts, according to the report. 4. Missions to Mars. By 2030, a crewed mission to Mars could be a possibility if one or more of the plans by government space agencies and private companies work out. The Red Planet has been the subject of human imagination for centuries. Hollywood films have been made about humans on it. Among the more imaginative ones was John Carter, where the eponymous hero is transported to Mars through a portal. He fights evil priests who are determined to take over a local kingdom on the planet and marries the land's astronomer princess. Real-life journeys to Mars are estimated to take over a year in some cases, or at least 245 days based on one particular scientific calculation, which calls for the availability of much higher energy than the other trips. Scientists have calculated that there are windows of opportunity every 26 months when the relative position of Earth and Mars is such that one can find the optimal trade-offs between the energy needed to transfer a spacecraft from our planet's orbit to that of Mars and the time required to do so. 3. Education. Creative learning. Education for all by 2030 is one of the United Nations Sustainability and Development Goals. That is one facet of the challenge of educating future generations. Another problem comes from the exponential rate at which technology is advancing to make it possible to automate an increasing number of jobs. Human jobs that involve creativity and abstract thinking and finding and solving problems by designing creative solutions will be secure. This calls for an overhaul of the education system, as the traditional system of teaching, with emphasis on rote learning, will be useless. From an infrastructure point of view, advances in technology will bring to bear many tools for teaching and learning. An example is virtual reality, which can bring alive various concepts, creating an immersive environment in the classroom. With the availability of cloud computing and storage, students will have access to their lessons and worksheets wherever they are, and internet connections will be ubiquitous. 2. Hospital at home. Much of what people have to go to the hospital for today will come to their homes at their convenience. For instance, portable versions of large scanning machines are being built by startups and medical technology companies. These new generation devices make sophisticated diagnostics available at home. Wearable devices that can monitor patients round the clock and upload data to the cloud securely to their electronic health records are already a reality. They will allow doctors to be alerted to a change in a patient's condition and help them decide on the severity of the illness. 1. Joys of shopping. Bengaluru-based Capillary Technologies is building AI tools to help sales staff in a shop get real-time feedback based on the interpretation of computer vision data. An early limited capability version is already in deployment, with some customers using it to make better recommendations. Another company, Manthan, has built an AI voice interface called Maya that the CEO of a retail chain can use on a smart speaker and ask questions like, "Hey, how many customers in store X in town might return the red dress that they purchased for Christmas and why?" What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.